to appreciate hot water in life. If you don't care for hot water, then you can just scroll because this isn't for you. Also, I envy you. Anyway, so I spent a lot of summers staying in Honduras, and in the house that we were staying in, the shower didn't have hot water. It had the shower head, but like water wouldn't come out of it. I don't know what it was for. Maybe it was like decorative, but you need to go get water from the well. And the water from this well was freezing. I would have to go and physically carry a gigantic bucket, fill it with water with a smaller bucket. I was like 9 years old. Carry this giant bucket all the way back to the shower. Use the same smaller bucket to then pour freezing cold water over myself to shower. I'm sure this would have been fine if I was used to cold water, but I wasn't. And I love Honduras, but this is the most dramatic part. I just couldn't do it. You people who can, I envy you. I'm a hot water person. You people have a skill that I don't possess. And the humidity is so much in Honduras, you just stand outside and you're already sweating. So when I showered quick. And I would be screaming from how cold it was. I looked a little something like, ah! How I dealt with mean boys in middle school. I don't recommend anyone do this. I'm actually very lucky that I didn't get reprimanded for this, or got in detention, or got suspended, or gotten phone calls from some very angry parents. Anyway, when I was in middle school, I was in art class. I took art every year of school. My art teacher knew me very well. I was advanced, I guess. She let me do pretty much anything I wanted. We had that kind of relationship. Anyway, there wasn't any place for me to work separated from the other kids, so I just sat with this random group of boys. So I was just getting creative, doing whatever I wanted while they did the actual assignment. But the things that they were talking about were pretty inappropriate, and they kept swearing, which I kindly asked them to stop doing multiple times. So they then reverted to attacking me. Shut up, little girl. They were laughing and snickering, calling me inappropriate names. A lot of them were very sexist. I asked them to stop, they didn't listen. So what did I do? An important thing I forgot to mention. I was painting. Yes, using acrylic paint. Now back to what did I do? I painted their clothes. Yeah, just grabbed my paintbrush and went plah! All over their pants and shirt. Yeah, I think there was 3 of them. I got them right across their shirt, all over their pants. I think it was red and orange paint. This was them. What the? The teacher had to remove me to a different table. She told me I couldn't do that. She completely understood why I did it. Thank you, God. Welcome to my most embarrassing private story ever. No one knows that this happened to me except me. I haven't told anyone, so I'm telling the entire world. Okay, so when I was like 13, my parents used to do this thing where they used to go to a lot of people's houses. Like right before they would move in, they would go there and they would pray for the house. And me and my sister were used to going to these like random houses all the time. So my parents were there praying for the house and everything. And then when that was done, they were talking to the owners, the people about to move in. Me and my sister were chilling out, checking out the house. I soon realized that I needed to go to the bathroom. So I did normal, went and did my business. Now I say again that these people hadn't even moved into the house yet. So of course there was no toilet paper. And you guys are thinking, oh Joe, there was no toilet paper. We've all gone through that. Yes, of course. So I looked around me, there was literally nothing else there. Everybody was in the lanai, I was basically by myself. So in an effort to not like use my clothes, I was like, I'm gonna be smart. I'm gonna use my hand. I'll use my hand because then I can wash it and it'll be no big deal. And you know, that could have worked. That could have been fine. But there was just one gigantic problem. Oh God, look, this is part 2 of my most embarrassing private story. Okay, so I used my hand and it was disgusting. But I was like, okay, no big deal. I'm just gonna wash my hand right now. It's no big deal. I went to the sink. Tell me why there was electricity in this house. Tell me why they had air, the keys to this house, but no water. There was no running water. I was standing there with my hand and the sink wasn't running any water. So 13-year-old me starts panicking because I'm an idiot. Oh, okay, there's no water here, but maybe there's water in the kitchen. I go to the sink in the kitchen. Nothing. I have never felt so defeated. My hands smelled. It was slimy. Ew! I'm so sorry if I'm grossing some of you out. It's real. It's real. You guys know I'm a crier, but I didn't cry. I was going to, but I didn't. I went up to my mom. I was like, Mom, please tell me you got a water bottle, you got a paper towel, you got something in your purse. She's like, no, I don't got anything. You telling me you got that gigantic bottomless pit of a purse and now you don't got anything? I did eventually find a napkin, but that didn't get rid of the stink. I just kind of had to keep a fist the rest of the night. Yeah, nobody knew about that. I hope that was entertaining because that was just sad. First time I ever remember lying to my mother. Guys, I used to be a little thief. Oh, listen, I had this whole Robin Hood paradox going on in my brain. Steal from the rich, give to the poor. I was the poor. Rich being that really mean girl who used to wear really pretty dresses. Who used to be like, you wore those pants yesterday. That girl. Anyway, during nap time, I was young, it was nap time. Teacher used to give us mats and we got to decide where we wanted to sleep. So we would roll out our mats on the floor and then we would just take our naps. I don't know. But I would always roll my mat right next to the backpacks. So we were in a portable, there was like these little walls set up to divide the backpack area from like the main classroom area. I would just place myself right behind there. Teacher would turn off the lights, teacher couldn't see me. Wait a few minutes, wait for everybody to really get asleep. I was so terrible. And I would just quietly get up, go over to Prissy Girl's backpack, grab whatever I could find, and keep it. She would always brag about her jewelry. Guess who got a brand new necklace? Then 2 things happened. Mom came. This is part 2, the first time I ever lied to my mom. Okay, so when my mom picked me up that day, I knew I couldn't go up to her with a brand new sparkly necklace. Instead, I stuck it in my shoe, walking very uncomfortably. Then had to wait for my sister to get out of school. While we were waiting, I took that opportunity to stash that necklace in the sand, walk around like an idiot, and then stumble upon it. Ah, look what I found. Not joking, she looked at me like this. Like, I found a necklace. I think I'm gonna keep it. And she's like, where did you find that? I was like, I found it right here. Yeah, I feel like my mom knew me. How did she know that? How could she I should ask her. Anyway, next day at school, I bring the necklace with me. I don't know why, but I hid it in my pocket. This girl, how did she know? How did she know? I don't know if she heard it. I don't know if she smelt it. She was like, what's in your pocket? I was like, nothing. Forcibly takes the necklace out of my pocket. I don't know how that got there. Bruh. At the end of the day, she got her necklace back. I literally never stole again. And honestly, one of the last time I ever lied to my mom. Honesty is the best policy you can tell me by. I'm gonna tell you guys about the time that my entire class teamed up to take my teacher down. And by down, I mean fired, which is terrible, but... And to be clear, I wasn't involved in the incident. I was just asked in to be a witness along with the rest of the class. If you're not interested at this point, like, I don't even know. So when I was in 6th grade, I had this teacher called Mr. W. We're gonna call him Mr. W. He was our science teacher. And he was fine. He wasn't like amazing or bad. He was just okay. He did smell like really, really bad. But again, that didn't affect his teaching at all. One day, however, I don't even know how this happened. He asked us all to get started on our work. He was a little irritated that day. I don't even remember why. One of the girls in our class, her name was Summer. She didn't have her workbook. Mr. W asked her where her work was. I didn't bring it today. They started arguing. The rest of the class was kind of silent, just watching this. She's a nice girl. She wasn't attacking him or anything. He did, however, get very angry. So angry, in fact, that he grabbed his binder and threw it across the room over her head. It just barely skipped her head and slammed on the floor. This wasn't like an empty binder from the dollar store. It was a teacher binder full of work. We were all silent. Summer stopped talking. Look for part 2 to find out what happens. Okay, this is part 2 of my teacher almost getting fired. After that whole incident, my class was dead silent for the rest of the period. We then all went to lunch. None of us really talked about it, but then all of a sudden a woman came up to us. We were all kind of sitting around the same table. This woman, I guess she was administration. I have no idea who she was. I think what had happened was a bunch of students had reported him. She asked us all from Mr. W's class to follow her. I don't remember if this was the same day or the following day, but she asked us to follow her into an empty classroom. I think it was used for testing. She had us all sit around the table and recount the incident to the best of our ability. Summer was there. What she wanted to know was basically, did Mr. W throw that binder at Summer? And we all recounted it basically the same, but at the end of the day, we all said yes. But eventually they let us all go. The following day, Mr. W was really sad. Barely spoke to us, barely did anything. He was passing out some work. He looked at Summer and said, Summer, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to throw that binder at you. His voice sounded like he was about to break. But we did have him as our teacher for the rest of the year, so no, he wasn't actually fired. But I do think Summer was terrified to speak up for the rest of that year. And the rest of us kind of didn't want to be in that class anymore. Yeah.